Your sleep position is not random. It is not just comfort. It is not just habit. The way you collapse onto your mattress every night quietly determines how well your brain cleans itself, how freely your lungs breathe, and whether your spine wakes up refreshed or slowly degenerates like a bent paperclip left in a hot car. While you are unconscious, gravity is making decisions for you, and those decisions have consequences. Tonight, we are ranking the most common sleep positions based on what they actually do to your body, not what feels nice, not what your childhood teddy bear taught you, what your organs, joints, and nervous system are dealing with for the next 8 hours while you drool into a pillow and think you're re-resting. Let's start with the position nearly half the human population defaults to without thinking: the fetal position, knees pulled up, spine curved, chin tucked. It is the original human safety mode. Before beds existed, curling into a ball made you smaller, warmer, and less appealing to whatever wanted to eat you in the dark. Your brain still remembers that. Curl up! Survive the night! From a breathing standpoint, this position has a major advantage. Sleeping on your side helps keep the airway open. Gravity pulls the tongue forward instead of letting it collapse backward into the throat. That is why side sleepers tend to snore less than people flat on their backs. If you or your partner sounds like a chainsaw at night, this position might be the only thing saving your relationship, but the fetal position has a dark side. Curl too tightly, and you turn yourself into a compression chamber. When your chin is glued to your chest and your knees are practically touching your ribs, your diaphragm cannot expand fully. Shallow breathing follows. Less oxygen circulates through your body during sleep. That heavy, foggy feeling when you wake up. Sometimes it's not bad sleep, it's bad breathing geometry. Your joints also pay the price. 8 hours in a tight curl puts continuous pressure on your hips and knees. Over time, this can aggravate joint stiffness and accelerate wear, especially if you already have tight hips or early arthritis. Your body may feel protected, but your skeleton is filing a complaint. There's also the spinal issue. A deeply curved sleeping posture holds the spine in flexion for hours, while short periods of flexion are harmless. Prolonged compression night after night can irritate discs and strain the lower back. This is why some people wake up sore even after a full night of sleep. That said, the fetal position is not the villain people make it out to be. It just needs modification. The secret is to loosen the curl. Think relaxed shrimp, not armored pill bug. Slightly extend the legs. Let the neck stay neutral instead of jammed forward. Add a pillow between the knees to keep the hips aligned. These small adjustments preserve the airway benefits while reducing joint and spinal stress. For pregnant individuals, this position is often the least bad option. Side sleeping reduces pressure on major blood vessels and improves circulation. Comfort matters here, and the fetal position delivers when done correctly. So where does it rank? High for breathing, high for safety instincts. Medium for joints, medium for spine. It is a powerful position when relaxed and a problematic one when extreme. And this is just the beginning, because not everyone curls up. Some people straighten out. Some people reach forward, and some people commit absolute crimes against their necks without realizing it. We're just getting started. If curling up feels too restrictive, some sleepers go in the opposite direction. They want order, structure, symmetry. They don't want to hide from the world at night. They want to line up with it. This brings us to the log position. Side sleeping with the spine straight, legs stacked, arms resting down like you're a plank of wood waiting to be shipped to a warehouse. At first glance, the log looks uncomfortable, too stiff, too disciplined. But biologically, this position unlocks one of the most important maintenance processes in your body. While you sleep, your brain activates a cleanup system that flushes out metabolic waste proteins that build up during the day. These proteins are strongly linked to cognitive decline when they accumulate over time. Side sleeping gives gravity a job. With your head tilted sideways, cerebrospinal fluid moves more efficiently through brain tissue, washing away waste like a pressure rinse. This is why researchers consistently find that side sleeping supports better long-term brain health compared to flat back sleeping. If the fetal position is survival mode, the log is brain maintenance mode. But gravity never gives without taking something in return. When you sleep, Like a log, your entire body weight is concentrated on one shoulder. Hours of compression reduce circulation and squeeze nerves running down the arm. That numb, lifeless sensation when you wake up and your arm doesn't belong to you. That's not your arm dying. That is temporary nerve compression reminding you that bones and nerves, Dan. T. Enjoy being used as load-bearing furniture. Your face also enters the equation. Pressing one side of your face into a pillow night after night creates repetitive skin folding. Over time, these folds stop disappearing by noon. Sleep lines turn into permanent wrinkles. Congratulations, you didn't age from stress or sun damage. You aged from stubbornly sleeping on one cheek. Some sleepers instinctively modify the log without realizing it. They extend their arms forward, reaching into empty space like they're trying to grab a dream before it escapes. This variation is often called the yearner position. It still keeps the body on its side, preserving the brain cleaning advantage, but it changes how weight and pressure are distributed. By reaching forward, the chest opens slightly. Shoulder compression decreases. Breathing can feel easier for some people, but the yearner introduces a new risk. Stretching the arms forward puts tension on the brachial plexus, the nerve network connecting the neck to the arms. This is why yearners often wake up with tingling fingers or partial numbness. That's the nerve tax for sleeping, like you're perpetually chasing something. There is another critical detail most people miss. Which side you sleep on matters. Your stomach is not centered, it curves to the left. When you sleep on your right side, gravity encourages acid to flow upward into the esophagus. This is a direct mechanical cause of nighttime heartburn and reflux. No amount of medication can fight gravity forever. Sleeping on your left side flips the script. The stomach sits lower than the esophagus, keeping acid where it belongs. If you suffer from reflux and refuse to sleep on your left side, you're choosing discomfort every night. So, where does side sleeping rank? For brain health, it's elite. For airway support, excellent. For skin and shoulders, problematic without adjustments. Pillows between the knees, proper head support, and switching sides occasionally can make the difference between recovery and compression. And yet, some people still reject side sleeping entirely. They want symmetry. They want their spine perfectly aligned. They want to face the ceiling and let gravity do whatever it wants. That brings us to the most controversial position of all. Now we move to the position that looks perfect on paper and disastrous in real life. The back sleeper, flat on the mattress, face up, arms resting by the sides, legs straight. You look calm, symmetrical, and mildly deceased. From a spinal perspective, this position is almost flawless. Your head, neck, and spine can stay in neutral alignment for hours, assuming your mattress isn't sagging like an old trampoline for your vertebrae. This is paradise. No twisting, no compression, no weird angles. Back sleeping evenly distributes your weight across the mattress, reducing pressure on joints and discs. If you struggle with lower back pain, this position often brings relief. Your face also benefits. Nothing is smashed into a pillow, no sleep lines, no bacteria pressed into your skin. Your vanity and your spine are finally on the same team. But then there I see your airway. Gravity becomes the villain. When you lie on your back, your tongue and jaw naturally fall backward. Soft tissue collapses toward the throat. The airway narrows. This is why back sleeping is the #1 position associated with snoring and sleep apnea. You're not loud because you're relaxed. You're loud because you're partially choking. For people with sleep apnea, this position is risky. Oxygen drops repeatedly throughout the night. The brain jolts, the body awake just enough to reopen the airway over and over again. You may think you've slept for 8 hours, but your nervous system disagrees. This is why back sleepers often wake up tired despite doing everything right. Some people modify the back position into what can only be described as chaos, arms stretched overhead, legs spread wide. This is the starfish. It looks like you fell backward and never recovered. By spreading out, you increase surface area, which helps release heat. If you're on hot at night, the starfish acts like a human radiator. Raising the arms can also relieve shoulder pressure for some people, but it introduces a new problem. Holding the arms overhead for hours can compress nerves near the elbows and shoulders. Waking up with numb fingers or a useless hand is the starfish penalty. And just like the standard back position, airway collapse is still an issue. mouth open, throat dry, snoring amplified. So where does back sleeping rank? 4. Spine alignment. It's top tier. For skin health, excellent. For breathing, it's a gamble. If your airway is strong, you might get away with it. If not, you're broadcasting your sleep to the entire household. And then there are those who reject all of this. They don't want alignment. They don't want symmetry. They don't want gravity helping them at all. They turn their face into the mattress and commit the most controversial sleep position of all. And finally, we arrive at the most rebellious sleep position of all. The one doctors warned about, chiropractors, despies, and millions of people still do every single night. The stomach sleeper. Face down. Head twisted to one side. Arms wrapped around the pillow like you're holding on for survival. This is the position that looks peaceful, but quietly wages war on your spine. Let's talk geometry. To breathe while lying face down, your neck must rotate sharply to the side for hours. Imagine spending your entire day walking around with your head turned 90 degrees. Your neck would revolt by lunchtime. Yet at night, people do this without a second thought. This sustained rotation puts torque on the cervical spine and restricts blood flow through critical arteries supplying the brain. Your lower back doesn't escape either. Stomach sleeping forces the spine into an exaggerated arch. The hips sink into the mattress while the chest stays elevated, compressing the lumbar spine. This is why stomach sleepers often wake up with stiffness or aching in the lower back. The position looks flat, but internally, everything is bent the wrong way. So why do people still do it? Because it feels secure. Pressing the front of the body into the mattress reduces the sensation of vulnerability. It also nearly eliminates snoring. Gravity pulls the tongue forward instead of backward, keeping the airway open. For people who snore heavily and can't tolerate side sleeping, stomach sleeping becomes a desperate compromise. But the trade-off is steep. Neck pain, back pain, and facial consequences. Your face absorbs the full force of gravity all night long. Fluids pool. Skin compresses. Wrinkles form faster and deeper. If you wake up puffy and uneven, the mattress is partially to blame. Now here's the important truth. There is no single perfect sleep position for everyone. Your body usually chooses the position that minimizes immediate discomfort. If something hurts, you roll away from it. If breathing becomes difficult, you shift. This instinct is not broken, but instinct can be optimized. Small adjustments make massive differences. If you sleep on your back and snore, elevating the head slightly or using a pillow that supports the neck without pushing it forward can reduce airway collapse. Some people even use positional tricks to discourage rolling fully onto the back. If you sleep on your stomach and wake up with neck pain, removing the pillow entirely can reduce cervical rotation. Placing a thin pillow under one hip can also reduce strain on the lower back. These aren't perfect solutions, but they reduce damage. For side sleepers with hip or back pain, placing a pillow between the knees aligns the pelvis and reduces spinal torque. Switching sides occasionally prevents repetitive compression on one shoulder and one side of the face. Sleep is not passive. You don't just fall over and hope for the best. You spend roughly 1/3 of your life in bed. That's not rest. That's long-term exposure. Gravity, pressure, and alignment are shaping your body night after night, whether you notice or not. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness. When you understand what your sleep position is doing to your body, you gain leverage. You stop fighting symptoms and start adjusting causes. So now the question isn't which position is best on paper, it's which position works best for you, and how you can tweak it to stop quietly damaging yourself while you sleep. And be honest, which one are you? The curler, the plank, the ceiling starer, or the full rebellion, face down, chaos sleeper? Let us know.